I'm literally gonna have a conniption. This is my fourth time trying to make this video. The first 2 times my audio was muted. The first time I think my microphone in general was muted. The second time I have a software open that monitors my microphone levels, and the levels were moving because the microphone is on, but I forgot that the output was muted, which therefore meant that the audio in the video was muted. Third time was just in the midst of doing the third time, and I realized I didn't press record on my camera. So here we are, fourth time. Pardon me if I don't seem particularly enthused. Anyway, here we are, fourth time trying to film this dang video. First of all, I know this isn't a great frame of me because it's very close to my face, but it is so you can see the hair better, because this is going to be another hair update video, but it really showcases my stinking giant fake tooth that I hate so much and that I really want to get fixed because it bothers me, because it's just so much bigger than my other teeth, and sometimes it looks like I only have that one tooth in the front because it sticks out from my lip and you can't see the tooth next to it because it has like a chunk out of it, and it just looks really bad, and I'm really self-conscious about it. So please don't make fun of my tooth because I will cry. Also, I'm looking up because I can see my video there, but it's also on the side of my camera, so I don't know why I did both, but it's fine, it's okay. Second of all, my bed is naked. It doesn't have sheets on it because the sheets are in the dryer, so I'm sure that ruins the aesthetics of this video, but that's okay. Third of all, was there a third of all? Was there a third of all? I don't know what's happening. I think that's all. I think that's all I wanted to say. Yes. Like I mentioned, this is another hair update video. This is the LaVivid Hair System 1 year later, because in the last video that I did on the system was a year ago. So I wanted to update you guys and show you how it's looking, and I also wanted to show that it is possible to make a system last a particularly long amount of time, but I will say that that depends on the base that you have, because the more delicate bases like the thin skin and the more delicate lace bases are obviously not going to be as durable and will probably not last as long as this one. Because if you don't remember, this one is the silk base system. It has the silk in the middle here, and it has a little bit of lace in the front, and the sides are the polyurethane, but not the super thin polyurethane, just like the normal polyurethane. So of course that impacts how long it lasts because it is a more durable base. But there are also other things that you can do, like make sure you're very gentle with it when you are cleaning it, or, you know, taking it off. Make sure you condition it. Take breaks from it, like when you take it off to clean it, don't immediately put it back on. You know, there are times where I go several weeks or even several months without wearing it, especially during the height of the pandemic, because I wasn't going anywhere, so it wasn't really necessary for me to put it on, even though I prefer myself with it on, even if I'm the only one seeing me. But also, like, sometimes I'm just lazy and I don't want to go through the work of putting it on, so I'll just leave it off to give the system itself a rest and to give my scalp a rest. So, you know, clearly if you are not wearing it all the time, it's gonna last longer. Those are some very simple, probably obvious things that you can do to help it last. And, you know, I really recommend this system if you are interested in one but you don't have the money to buy a new one every couple of months. I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Unfortunately, I think it only comes in this one color, which is like a brown black color, and it only comes in this straight hairstyle. Although I think they probably, don't quote me on this, but I think they could maybe do a custom system like with this base but with a different hair color. And even my natural hair didn't match this, because my natural hair is like a medium brown, so I just have to dye my hair to match this, which is not something I mind at all. But I would for sure check this one out, because you can make it last a long time and you can get a lot of bang for your buck. It still looks great, it still feels great a year later. There's still plenty of hair left. I think in the first video it probably looked a little more like voluminous than it does in this video, which is probably due to like just the hair fall that occurs over time. But even still, there's like, you can tell, I mean, there's plenty of hair left in the system. And it was, I think, one of the more dense ones to begin with. Like, it came with a lot of hair to begin with, so much so that I almost felt that it was a little like unnaturally thick for me. So when my partner cut it, I just had him like run through it with some thinning shears and just take a little bit of weight out of it. But even still, it was quite weighty, and I think it's, you know, quite weighty now as well, but not like too much. I think that I can get many more months out of this as well, because the base is holding up really nicely and everything is just holding up very nicely. So I 100% recommend this one if, you know, you're getting your first system and you want to try something out. And this is not like, this video is not part of like my partnership like contract at all. This is just me doing this on my own accord because I wanted to update anyone who was interested. So I mean, you could just see how long it may possibly last you. And I also wanted to share some of the products that I use as well. So I have this little leave-in conditioning spray. The brand doesn't matter, I don't think, because it came from the salon that did my first hair system. This is a leave-in conditioner detangler, actively moisturizes hair while adding a gentle hold. So I like to put this on when it's dry and like I need to brush it, so I'll just spray a little bit of this and it just makes everything, you know, smooth and adds a little bit of a shine and everything is soft. I definitely recommend any sort of like leave-in conditioner spray. Very important to keep the hair conditioned because, you know, it's not going to get the oils and stuff like your natural hair would to like naturally keep itself moisturized. I also use... Stay focused? You good? Okay. I also use this clay paste. This is probably not the best thing to put on your hair because it was, I mean, it was just cheap, so it doesn't have the greatest ingredients in the world, but at that time I just needed something quick to help style my hair, and I will show you. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just clay paste. The plus side is though that it smells great. It's like I don't know if I would call it tropical, but it will last in your hair, so people will be, you know, smelling your head, not literally smelling your head as you walk by, but like your scent will waft into people's presences when you are gallivanting around town, and it smells really good. I mean, it's like having cologne in your hair, and I really like it, although it does say highest hold, and I find that it doesn't have that great of a hold, but maybe I'm just not applying enough, or maybe it's just due to the weight of the hair. So not the greatest hold in the world, pardon the noise. I have a bag of stuff. That's basically all I use for styling, that and water. As far as products for like applying the system, so I don't know why I'm showing you these things because I'm just going to read them out to you anyway, but this is Walker Tape Top Lock Knot Sealer. It is a shed reducing hair knot and tape tab sealer. So if you have a lace based system or a system with any amount of lace on it, you spray this like after you've washed it and cleaned it and all that stuff. You spray this on it before putting it on your head, and that just helps, like the bottle says, to reduce shedding. And then I have this little bottle. Hello. Look at me trying to be a beauty guru. Hello. This is, I believe, Walker Tape Company again. It is Max Hold Sport. It is a scalp protector, but I think it also helps to have the adhesive and whatnot last a bit longer. Like it's a barrier between your scalp and the adhesive, so like not as much sweat and stuff gets on it, but it also just protects your scalp in general from the harshness of some of the adhesives. And you put that on after you've like cleaned your head and everything. You put that on before the tape. As far as, sorry about the bag noises, as far as the adhesives, I use that. It is Ghost Bond Platinum by Professional Hair Labs, It is very good. I highly recommend it. You know, I live in Texas, so it gets really hot and humid here, and this holds pretty well for me. I probably don't put as many layers on as I should, so I might not get the strongest hold that I could. Oh my god, I almost had a heart attack because I thought I wasn't recording the audio, but I am. It's fine. So yes, I recommend this adhesive. It's very good, and it doesn't have like a super strong smell or anything. To me, it just kind of smells like school glue. So there's that. I have this other... Hello? Almost. Okay, it doesn't matter. I have this other little bottle of adhesive. It's Walker Tape Company again. Extreme Hold Hair System Adhesive Silicone Based Glue. Now this one I can't recommend just from my like one-time personal experience. It's very smelly. It smells like nail polish remover. It has a very, very, very strong, pungent smell, and it was just really difficult for me to work with. I'm sure if like a professional was using it on me, it would probably work really well. But it was way too sticky and stringy, so things were just getting in and on places that I didn't want it to. It was just, yeah, it was not fun to work with, and the hold wasn't all that great either. But again, that could have probably just been user error because I'm sure I wasn't doing it right. And I have this little gross looking silicone paddle brush thing to apply the glue with. I very much recommend getting a silicone tipped thing because that just makes it much easier to clean the glue off of the brush. And I have this little comb with a tail because I use the tail to press down my front hairline. Whenever I glue it, I press it down like that, and that helps I press and hold it down, and that helps it to get a strong hold without getting all over my fingers. Last thing in my bag. These are Walker Tape No Shine Minis. Obviously, you can tell that Walker Tape is very popular in the hair system and wig community. But Walker Tape No Shine Minis double-sided tape tabs last up to 4 weeks. I like to use these on the perimeter of my system where the polyurethane material is, because it's just much easier than applying glue everywhere. I only use glue on my front hairline because I find that if I use these on the front hairline, that sometimes it's a little more noticeable than the glue. I mean, usually the glue isn't noticeable at all, but those can be just because it's thicker than a layer of glue. But I do like to use those on the perimeter, and also I find that they're much more easy to clean off than the glue is. And I think that's it for stuff in my bag. Let me put that away. That's the products that I use on my hair and to stick it down. As far as cleaning goes, usually what I do is I run some hot water in the sink and I put Dawn dish soap, which I know is terrible for hair. You don't have to use that. You could probably use any shampoo or soap that you want, but Dawn dish soap just really helps to get all the oil and get the tape up and stuff. Hot water, Dawn dish soap. I use a little bit of shampoo from Walker Tape Company that's called Bond Breaker. I use that on the system as well as on my scalp because it just helps to break down all the adhesive so you can get it off a little easier. And I also use a little bit of baking soda just in case there's any sort of smell, and I feel like the baking soda helps to just kind of helps everything come up a little easier. And so I do that, and I let my system sit in the sink with that mixture for an hour, sometimes even longer, because I just want to make sure that everything gets really nice and saturated so the glue and tape comes up easy for me, and then I can just like roll it off with my hands or with a rag. Another piece of equipment that I have, I believe is called a Textile Cleaning Gun. I'll put a picture up of the one that I have, but it's basically just like a super high pressure water gun shooter thing. And like, I mean like super high pressure. Like if you get your fingers in front of it, it can like probably like squirt a hole in your skin. So don't do that. It's really painful if it hits your skin, but it really helps to like blast all of the like stubborn glue that's stuck on the lace. It really helps to blast that right through the lace, so you're not dealing with a ton of glue buildup on your system. I wouldn't use it on like really Hello, that was a loud knock. One moment. Hello, my cat joined the party. What was I saying? Oh, the textile cleaning gun. Yes, I wouldn't use it on like thin skin or more delicate bases because it could probably easily tear a hole through those. And even with the lace that's on the front of my system, it's not like it's particularly delicate or anything, but I do notice that it is like started to like fray the edges if I hold it there too long. But that's not something that bothers me really at all. So yes, just use caution with that, but I do recommend it because, hello, my cat is screaming at me. I do recommend it because it reduces cleaning time and it really just helps to get all that stubborn glue off, which can be incredibly annoying. I don't know if I mentioned, but in the shower I like to have the conditioner in, and then when the conditioner is in, I go through with a comb, and I use like a wide tooth wooden comb so things don't get caught up very easily. But I just go through with a comb and I brush all the knots and stuff out. And I've heard a few people with hair systems say not to comb it or brush it when it's wet because that can undo the knots and cause more hair loss. But you know, I haven't really noticed any issue with it. And to be honest, if I tried to brush or comb my system when it did not have like conditioner in it in the shower, then it would just be it would be full of knots and it would be very difficult to brush, and then I would pull hair out just trying to get the knots out. So I would say that you should probably brush it or comb it in the shower with conditioner in it, and then if you want you can even apply the leave-in conditioner once you're out of the shower. But I don't usually do that. I don't usually double up on conditioner. I like to use that leave-in conditioner when my hair is already dry and it just needs a little like shine, or like the one that I have says it adds a gentle hold, so I use that as well if I want it to have a little bit of hold. Is there anything else that I am forgetting? I don't think so. I think that's it for the hair system. And I know that these hair system videos aren't everyone's cup of tea because most people don't need a hair system, and I also know that a lot of folks subscribe to my channel for like transition related content, or like I used to tell like awkward funny stories that happened to me. But one, I don't go anywhere anymore, especially because of the pandemic, so I don't have any fun stories to tell. And two, I mean, this is transition related content because my hair fell out due to male pattern baldness, due to me being on testosterone. So it's important to show other trans people, and I mean cis people in general, that there are other options for hair loss besides, you know, super expensive procedures or using Rogaine and things like that. I mean, I use Rogaine still too, but this is also an option, and I think it's a really great option. I know a lot of people don't have the money for hair systems, but it is worth it if you want to save up and try to get one. I very much enjoy having the option to have a hair system because it just makes me feel much more confident about myself. I mean, believe me, if I thought that I looked okay bald, then I would be bald. But I'm literally so ugly without hair. Like, it's a different person. I hate the way I look without hair. I feel like I have the hugest head and the hugest forehead in the history of Earth. So I don't like myself without hair. It's not a good look for me, but if you look good without hair, I'm very jealous, and more power to you. Please rock your baldness because bald is beautiful, and unfortunately I'm just not beautiful bald. So that's not it for me. I know that most of you didn't subscribe to hear me talk about hair systems, in which case I apologize, but I think that this is good and important information for everyone to know. And I'm going to pause this video because I'm running out of recording time, but I will be back because I want to just quickly run through some other transition related things as well. So one moment. Okay, hi, back again. For people who are more interested in other transition related content, I will give a tiny little update in regards to that. Now, I feel like most of you probably follow me on Instagram already, so you already know this stuff. In which case, I'm sorry that this video had nothing of interest for you in it. But if you don't follow me there, then you wouldn't know that November was my 8 years on testosterone. It was either November 13th or 14th. I can't recall which one, but yes, it was my 8 years on testosterone, which is absolutely wild to think about, because I think the last testosterone update video I did, like solely testosterone update video I did, was like 11 months or something. So it's been a real long time since I've done a solely transition related update video. But yes, 8 years on testosterone. Absolutely wild to think that it has been that long. I also had top surgery in January of 2018. I had top surgery in Austin, Texas with Dr. Dustin Reed. I had peri-areolar, which is very difficult to say, but that is where they just make the circular incision around your areolas and they take the tissue out that way. So no like scars across my chest. And I haven't had my actual like nip nub resized because it was too much of a risk to do that during the initial surgery, because if you do it during the initial surgery you run the risk of losing your entire nipple, which would not be fun. So I haven't done that yet, but it's definitely something that I want to have done in the future, just because for me in particular I am uncomfortable with the size of my nip nops, so I would like to have those smaller. I highly recommend Dr. Reed. He was very nice and listened to all my concerns, and because I went in thinking, and I've thought for years, that I was going to have double incision, so that's like what I was prepared for. But he thought that I would be a very good candidate for peri because my chest was pretty small and I had fairly good skin elasticity, which is also important for peri, because that means that when the tissue is removed, that your skin is elastic enough to tighten back up instead of like sagging or anything like that. I did have those concerns. I had concerns about my chest being too big and, you know, having like saggy skin left over and whatnot, but he reassured me that he thought I was a very good candidate, and turns out I was. I mean, I think things look pretty good. I'll put a picture up of what I look like, and I'll also put a picture up of what my chest looked like before. I think it was an A cup, like a small A cup. Even though by anyone's standards, my results are probably really great, but of course we are our own worst critics, and sometimes I still get self-conscious, not only about like my nip size, but I feel like my nipples are a little lower than most cis people's and most trans people's nipples, to be honest. So sometimes I get a little bit worried about their position, but I've also had a lot of people tell me that my nip position is totally normal and everything's fine. So it's just me being paranoid about things. So yeah, that happened. And also in March of 2018, my partner and I had a son. His name is Namid. He will be 4 in March. And I would love to go into like further detail about that experience, because I think that it's also a really important one to share. Not only because it's important to share trans people's families and trans people having children and to normalize that, but I also think it's important to share your story if it was one that wasn't particularly like a beautiful, happy butterfly and rainbows pregnancy and birth story, because it was not that. The whole thing, every aspect of it was absolutely terrifying. So I would love to share more of that and share more about Namid. If it's okay with my partner, I will have to run that by them first. You can see him on my Instagram as well. I have a lot of highlights of him there and a lot of videos, and he's just the cutest little nugget in the whole world. And we moved again. We're still in Texas. We're just in a different part. So, I mean, clearly this background is different than the background in my last hair video. So Jay and I have our own little apartment now, which is very exciting. It's the first time that we have been on our own, and I'm very grateful for his parents, because we definitely would not be able to have this if it weren't for them helping us out. And they also moved with us. They have their own place about 15 minutes from where we are, so it's all very exciting. And Jay was adamant about living in a place where a lot of the things and a lot of the important things like hospitals and doctors and all that lived within like walking distance of us, because neither of us drive. Jay can't drive because he has seizures, and I can't drive for a less reasonable reason. I just have a lot of anxiety when it comes to driving, so it's not something I enjoy, so I would like to avoid it. But now we can walk or bike to the majority of things that we need or want to get to, and Jay actually built like a little bike basket for me to sit in. Like it's a big thing that like trails behind the bike, kind of like those seat things that toddlers sit in that also trail behind the bike. It's kind of like that. So yeah, he actually drove me to a doctor's appointment just yesterday, and I rode in it, and it was only like a 6-minute bike ride, but very exciting. You know, everything worked well. We didn't break down in the middle of the street, which is, not gonna lie, something I was worried about, but everything went well. Being able to bike places is great because that gives us a sense of even more independence, which is something that we've always wanted. That's just like little tiny snippets of the things that have happened over the last 8 years since I've been on testosterone. And this is my voice 8 years on testosterone. Hello, my cat is beating a box. This is my voice 8 years on testosterone, which sometimes I get really self-conscious about too, because it is higher than it used to be, which is weird. But I read that as you get older, or maybe just in general, if you lose a certain neck muscle, it can make your voice sound higher. So maybe if I exercise again, then I can build back up my neck muscles and have a deeper voice. I don't know. I get really self-conscious about it sometimes, but what am I not self-conscious about? I mean, really, I'm self-conscious about pretty much every single aspect of my body. So, you know, being a human is exhausting and great time. I think that's all I have to say in this video. I know it was quite long, so if you've made it this far, I very much appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if you didn't enjoy it, but again, if you didn't enjoy it, you probably didn't watch this entire thing. Hopefully I'll be able to make a video going more in depth on LaVivid and that whole entire process. Honestly, I don't think I could really go more in depth about transition related things, because there's nothing to go more in depth to, if that makes sense. I would like to also make a video discussing my anxiety and my OCD and my mental health, but that's definitely a whole nother can of worms. It's not something that could be in this video. That would be a bad idea. Just thought it was time to give an update on this and to say hello to you all. I know it's been a minute since I made a proper video, but I did start streaming video games on here, and I also stream on my Twitch. So if video game streams are something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to me here and turn on notifications if you haven't already. And you can also follow my Twitch, because I prefer streaming there. It's the same name on Twitch as it is on here. I've always loved video games, and streaming just adds another level of fun to that. But I noticed that when I started uploading the streaming content, that I lost a bunch of subscribers, which is, I mean, sad but fine, because I realized that that is not something that everyone likes. And also, maybe they just don't like me anymore. Maybe they just think I'm annoying, which is fine, because I'm sure a lot of people probably think I'm annoying. Sometimes I think I'm annoying. I mean, honestly, like watching my older videos, very much I just cringe all the time, because I don't know, I'm annoying sometimes. Okay, anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. I think that's it. I think I'm good to go, but I appreciate you, and I hope that you all have a good day / night / whatever it is. I mean, week, month, year. The year's almost over. That's terrifying. I'm done, I think. Let's hope this video works out and everything is normal. Okay, that's enough. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.